Hi there, and welcome to practice. Thank you so much for joining me today. Today's class is a gentle prenatal yoga class, but you certainly don't have to be pregnant to enjoy practice. You might want a couple of blocks today, or a couple of big cans, perhaps a folded up blanket, and a bolster, or a pillow, or a couch cushion. So take a moment to gather up your supplies, and we'll meet seated on our mats. It might feel good to slide a blanket or bolster or block underneath your hips. And if this is too much of a stretch, you might slide your blocks underneath your knees to give them a little support. Take a moment to get comfortable, and then bring your right arm in front of you, capture your elbow or your forearm, and circle out your wrist to stretch your shoulder and your tricep. Now release your grip, bring your right arm overhead, bend your elbow, capture it with your left hand, and use your hand to pull your arm a little bit more back and towards your head to stretch the front side of your tricep and shoulder. Sit up nice and tall here. Now release that. We'll move into the other side. Bring your left arm around, take your grip, and again breathe into the stretch, maybe circling out your wrist. Now release your arm down, bring it overhead, bend your elbow, capture it, and then pull arm towards head a little bit back for your tricep shoulder stretch. Now gently begin to release that. You can bring your hands back into your lap. And start to draw some circles with your neck. As you do so, start to locate some areas in your neck that are feeling extra crispy, crunchy, or snappy. Paying special attention to the right side of your neck. Now the next time your left ear comes close to your left shoulder, we'll hold here for a moment. You might play with the tilt of your chin to find the best spot to stretch. And then maybe reach your right arm out at the diagonal, bringing it to the mat or your block to intensify the stretch a bit. Send your breath to the left side of your neck. We're here for just a little longer. Now bring your hands back into your lap, roll your chin to your chest, and start to make your neck circles, again, perhaps going the opposite way you did before, if that feels okay. Notice the difference between your two sides. And any tension on the left side of your neck, we'll stretch that part next. Once your right ear comes close to your right shoulder, stay. Maybe reach your left arm out to a diagonal. And again, settle in. We'll breathe here for a few rounds of breath. Just using our breath to ease out any tension through the neck and the trap. And bring your hand back to your lap and your chin to your chest. From here, bring your peace fingers to your third eye and use that to gently lift your head back to neutral. As you arrive, you have a moment to wiggle this out in any way that feels good for you. Now dismount from your props, bringing your blocks or your cans to the top of your mat at the highest level. You can move your blanket or bolster out from underneath. We'll meet in tabletop shape, coming to all fours from there. Stretching out our spine, hips, and shoulders, use your inhale for cow pose, dropping your belly down, lifting gaze and tailbone. On the exhale, cat pose, arch your spine as you hug your baby in through the core. Inhale back to cow, and exhale, cat, arch, and curl. Take 3 more rounds of breath like this. Feel free to add anything else here that might feel good to stretch yourself out. After your next exhale, we'll find a nice, long, neutral spine tabletop. From there, spinal balance. Inhale, lift your left arm in front, your right leg behind. Might feel good to circle out wrists and ankles. You can also move your left leg a little further left to create a more stable base. Now really reach in opposite directions. Hold stillness, hug your baby in. Keep your leg extended, plant your hand. Leg stays long, tap your toes down, they're tucked under. And then begin to press back into a little calf stretch here. Begin to shift your hips back over your knees and then bring your left foot out, outside of your mat. Dial your entire right foot down and then press into your left hand to lift your right arm overhead. Stay there or maybe engage your core, lifting your right leg for baby half moon. Stay there or bend your knee, see if you can capture your foot, pinky toe edge. If so, kick foot into hand just a little bit for baby Chapasana, opening up shoulder and quad. Now gently unbuild, find your baby half moon, plant your foot for side plank, replant your hands, and then tap both knees down, make your way back to tabletop, shake it out. Setting up for side 2, inhale, lift your right arm in front, left leg behind, maybe circle out wrists and ankles. And again, come back to stillness, really reach in opposite directions, feel your core engage. Plant your right hand, tap your left toes down, leg is straight, and press back into your calf stretch. Now bring your shoulders over your wrists, dial your right foot out, plant your entire left foot, press into right hand to open up your left arm. Stay there, maybe lift your left leg. Stay there or maybe bend your knee, capture your foot, and kick for your baby Chapasana. Feel this stretch. Now nice gentle release. First find your half moon, then plant your foot for side plank, replant your hands, and make your way back to tabletop. Again, take a moment to shake this out any way that feels right. Now walk your hands one handprint forward, tuck your toes under, and send your hips up and back to downward facing dog. Take some time pedaling out your dog. If this shape gives you heartburn, tap your knees right back down, make your way back into tabletop. And if you don't feel like you have enough space here, you might bring your blocks to the lowest level and slide them underneath your hands. Now begin to tiptoe your feet forward. You can take lots of little steps to make your way into a forward fold. Your feet will arrive behind your blocks, and then bring your hands onto your blocks to give yourself a little lift and baby a little space here. This will be our forward fold throughout class. Moving into our goddess squat, which is a great birthing position. Bring your feet a little wider than your hips, bend your knees, bring your elbows to your thighs and your hands to a triangle shape. Now arch your spine and round up one vertebra at a time. Once you've made your way to standing, you can bring your feet more underneath you and your hands to heart center. Again, if it feels safe, you can blink your eyes to closed. And if you have any intention or dedication for your practice today, bring that to your mind. Release your hands back down. And inhale, reach your arms overhead, upward salute. Exhale, cactus your arms, take a baby twist to the right. Twisting here from the belly button up, your hips should square forward towards the short side of your mat. Now inhale, unwind, and exhale, twist to the left. You can squeeze your shoulder blades here to get more of a heart and pec stretch. Inhale, unwind, arms reach overhead. And exhale, soft knees on the way down to your forward fold. Hands come down to your blocks. Now bring your weight into your right leg and step your left leg back into a lunge. From here, lift or bring your hands to your knees and then walk them overhead to your crescent lunge. If this doesn't feel very stable, you can toe heel your right foot further right to give yourself a more stable base. Now reach your arms actively up towards the ceiling, but relax your shoulders and pull your feet towards one another. Now moving into an eagle arm stretch, bring your right arm below your left. You can give yourself a bear hug, bring back of hand to back of hand, or cross your wrists and bring palm to palm. Either way, with your next inhale breath, take a baby back bend, lifting elbows and gaze, hugging your baby in. Take one more inhale here. With your exhale, release your back bend, unwind your eagle arms. Inhale, crescent lunge. And exhale, open up to your warrior two. Your back foot faces towards the long edge of your mat, arms to a T. Pull your feet towards one another to engage your legs. And stack your shoulders directly over your hips. Reach in opposite directions. But keep shoulders and jaw relaxed. Inhale. Exhale, begin to lean forward, forward, forward. Bring right elbow to right thigh, and then left arm reaches up and overhead for extended side angle. Really press into the pinky toe edge of your back foot. And as you press your thigh away with your right arm, draw your shoulders down your back. Inhale, star pose, arms reach overhead, toes towards the long edge of your mat. And exhale, goddess pose, toes out, heels in. Now imagine you're carrying an energy ball. With an inhale with your left arm, sweep the horizon. Exhale, scan the horizon, hold your energy ball, sit lower. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, scan, sit a little lower. Inhale, sweep the horizon. Exhale, scan, sit lower. Inhale, sweep. Exhale, scan, sit lower. One more of each on your own. Once you're finished, we'll take another beat in goddess pose. Nice job. Now inhale, lift back up, star pose. And exhale, make your way back to warrior two towards the top of your space. Again, take a moment to find your stance. Perhaps sitting a little deeper into your lunge since you've been here before. Notice if you can lengthen your breath any here. Now begin to gaze down towards your right toes. Bring your hands onto your block and come to your back toes. And then step together so your feet are behind your blocks. Exhale in your forward fold. Inhale, goddess squat, elbows to thighs. Exhale, round your spine. And begin to round up one vertebra at a time. Inhale, chair pose, arms reach overhead, sit back and down. As you reach your hips back and down, bring your weight more towards your heels, but keep on lifting your heart here. Chair pose strengthens a lot of the things you'll need for birth. Inhale here. Exhale, airplane arms, bring your arms behind you, palms face down. Weight a little bit more towards your toes. Hold here, hug baby in. We'll move into two more breath to movement. So inhale, chair pose. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, chair. Exhale, airplane arms. Inhale, chair pose. And then come all the way up to standing. Take a moment to shake it out. Nice job. Inhale, arms reach overhead. And exhale, dive over your legs, hands to blocks, forward folds. Inhale, halfway lift. And then step your right leg back to your lunge. Once you feel stable, walk or lift your arms overhead, crescent lunge. Again, option to move left foot a little further left. As you sink into your stance, unclench your jaw. Moving into our eagle arm stretch, this time it's left arm below right. You can find bear hug, back of hand to back of hand, or palm to palm. Either way, inhale, baby back bend, lift your elbows, your gaze, hug your baby in. One more breath in. And exhale, release your eagle arms. Inhale, crescent. Exhale, warrior two. Back foot faces towards the long edge of your mat. Arms to a T. Pull your left knee a little bit left. and your feet towards one another to engage your legs. Notice your breath. One more inhale. Exhale, extended side angle, reach forward. Then drop left elbow to left thigh, right arm reaches up and overhead. This pose is a baby twist. So you can press your elbow into your thigh and use that leverage to encourage heart, maybe gaze more towards the ceiling. Begin to find more side body engagement. Inhale pulls you up, star pose. And exhale will sit low into horse, taking that same movement. So find your energy ball. Inhale, right arm scans. Exhale, sweep, sit lower. Inhale, scan. Exhale, sweep, sit lower. Twice more on your own with your breath. Horse is another great position for labor. Opens the hips, gravity's working with you. Once you're complete, hold that energy ball. Inhale, send it into the air, star pose. And exhale, warrior two towards the top of your space. Perhaps finding a little bit more depth since we've been here once before. Now start to peek down at your left toes. Bring your hands to your block, step to your back toes. And then step forward to your forward bend. Exhale here. Inhale as your goddess, squat elbows to thighs. Exhale, round your spine and begin to round up one vertebra at a time, nice and easy. Inhale, arms overhead. And exhale, one more chair pose. So again, finding that strength for labor, weights back in your heels. Reach your hips back and down, engage your core. Keep your arms active here. Inhale, breath. Exhale, vertical twist to the right. Bring your right arm behind you, left arm in front. And again, try to twist from the belly button up. Notice if you can find a little more depth in your chair pose. Inhale, arms reach back overhead, chair pose. And exhale, twist to the left, same as before. Activate your arms, reach in opposite directions as if you have a friend pulling each hand. And sink low into your chair pose. Keep hugging baby in. Inhale, unwind. Exhale, twist right. Inhale, chair. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, chair. Exhale, last time right. Inhale, chair. Exhale, last time left. Inhale, chair. Exhale, come to standing. Shake it out. Then your choice of release, you can come back into your forward fold. Or if you'd like, you can bring your feet wider, bend your knees, and sit low into Malasana. I'll turn around and show you what that looks like from the front. If hovering like this is too much, you might grab your block, blanket or bolster, and slide it underneath your hips so you have a little seat to perch on. Take a moment and breathe here. Malasana is yet another great labor position. Again, open hips, gravity working with you. All right, we're just here for a little break, so begin to bring your hands back in front of you. I'm going to show you from this side again. And make your way into tabletop. You might move your block back into its position. From tabletop, bring your knees wider than your hips. You might bring a block between your legs to give your seat a little support. We're moving into child's pose. You use your second block or a blanket underneath your forehead to give it a little support. And then as you arrive, see if you need to shift your props up or down, side to side, just to be a little more comfortable. We'll rest here in child's pose for a few more rounds of breath. Now begin to press into your hands and your forearms. Remove your blocks, bring them back into their place. Then make your way into another downward facing dog. You've got a moment or two here to work your dog. And then we'll make our way back into our forward fold, so walk your feet until they're just about behind your blocks and bring your hands to your blocks. Exhale here. Inhale, goddess squat. Exhale, round. Begin to round up one vertebra at a time. We'll bring our hands to heart center and our weight to our right leg once we're acclimated to standing back up. From here, step your left leg back into warrior one stance. So your feet are about hip width distance, heel comes down to the mat, left foot at about 45 degrees. Arms reach overhead. And as you press into your feet, encourage your left hip forward and your right hip back. Now begin to release your hands behind you and create a fist behind your back. Bring your fist to your right hip and then drop your right ear to your right shoulder. We're getting a second neck stretch in today. You can hold stillness or play with the tilt of your chin. Just make sure you feel stable enough here. Now bring your fist back behind you, release it, and your hands to your hips. Straighten your front knee. You might hop your back foot forward a little bit. Begin to hinge forward into triangle pose. And once you're about halfway there, grab your blocks and bring them closer to your front foot. You'll use the blocks to lift the ground a little closer to you so you have space for this shape. Feel free to bend your elbows to find your stretch. It might feel good to relax your neck. Setting up for runner's lunge, bring your block in your right hand to the inside of your right foot. Step your left foot further back and then tap your left knee down to the mat. You'll let your hips sink forward as you rest your hands on your blocks. This might be a nice place to lower your blocks to the medium or the lowest level to get a better stretch if that feels okay in your body. Breathe here into your hips. You might find a little sway side to side or a little figure eight with your hips for some movement. Now bring your blocks back to their highest level and more in front of you. Tuck your back toes under and we'll move back into our forward fold. Inhale, goddess squat. Exhale, round your spine and make your way back to standing. Take a moment to shake that out. Moving into dancer's pose, take some back strokes with your left arm. I'll show you from the front on this side. And then bring your left elbow to your left waist. Bend your left knee, reach down, capture your foot from the outside. Inhale, lift your right arm high. Exhale, stay here, or maybe kick your foot into your hand for a little quad and heart stretch. You can always step closer to a wall to have something to hang on to if balance is feeling challenging today. Your center of gravity is shifting. All right, gently release, shake it out. And we'll do the other side of dancer's pose after our flow. So this time you'll step your right leg back into your warrior one stance. Right foot about 45 degrees, feet hip width distance, arms reach overhead. Guide left hip back, right hip forward. Come back into your breath. Now begin to release your hands behind you. Maybe awkward thumb on top as you create your fist. And then drop left ear to left shoulder to stretch the right side of your neck. Hug your baby in to find a little more balance here. Begin to release your fist back behind you. And then bring your hands to your hips, straighten your front knee, maybe hop your back foot forward. Begin to hinge forward into pyramid pose. Again, placing your hands on your blocks when you're about halfway down. Blocks come closer to your front foot. Feel free to bend your elbow to find a deeper stretch here. Maybe notice if this side is feeling any different from the first. Moving back into runner's lunge, shift your left hand and block on the inside of your left foot and step your right foot further back. Drop your right knee down. And if you need to move your blocks to a different level to find this stretch, please do. Allow your hips to sink forward as much as feels good here. And enjoy the stretch. Begin to bring your blocks back to their highest level. Tuck your right toes under, lift your right knee. And step together to your forward fold, top of your space. Exhale here. Inhale, goddess squat. Exhale, cat pose through the spine, round up one vertebra at a time. And you might take a moment to shake it out. This time your right arm makes those circles. I'll show you from the side this time. Bring your right elbow to your right waist. Bend your knee, capture your foot. Inhale, lift your left. And exhale, dancer's pose, stay, or maybe a little kick. Find that one point of focus, something that's not moving to help keep you upright. And now gently begin to release and shake it out. Inhale, reach your arms overhead. And exhale, dive over soft legs, forward fold. From here, step further back. We'll be making our ways into toes pose. I'll show you this from the back first. So you'll bring your knees and your feet together, tuck your toes under, and sit back on your heels. So like I said, toes are tucked under. This is important. From here, bring your arms into a cactus shape. We'll hold here for several rounds of breath. This practice is meant to help you practice for labor pains. So as you breathe here and feel the intensity of toes pose, it might feel good to move your arms a little bit, your torso. Do what you need to do to keep yourself calm and breathing. We're already almost there. You might take an open mouth exhale to release a little steam. You can do this. Almost there. Keep breathing. Now you can release your arms down, plant your hands in front of you. First, lift your toes, just feel the sensation, then wiggle them out. It might feel good to tap your feet on the mat. From here, we'll just sit back on our heels for a moment, feeling any lingering sensation, and just taking a little break. All right, we have 2 rounds today, so make your way back to tabletop. Bring your knees and your feet together, tuck your toes under, and again, sit back on your heels. Once more, make your arms into that cactus shape, and come back into your breath. This is your last time here today. Notice what you tell yourself to keep yourself calm. And of taking an open mouth exhale, releases some of the pressure. You are almost there. Keep breathing. All right, begin to release your arms down, plant your hands, lift your feet, wiggle them out, pitter-patter them down. Excellent job. Once you feel released, you can start to bring your legs out in front of you. We'll move into a straddle stretch next. You might shift so you're facing the long edge of your mat. Option here to sit on a blanket to give yourself a little extra lift. Bring your legs out into a V, and then grab your 2 blocks, set them in front of you. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you can bring it on top of your blocks. If not, you can just use your blocks. If you have a bolster or a pillow, you'll bring your forearms over your pillow, and then if available, rest your forehead to your forearms. If that's not available, you might add a couple extra pillows. If all you have is blocks, you can bring your forearms or even your hands to your blocks to give you support as you surrender forward. Allow your legs to relax here and breathe deeply into the back lines of your body. Enjoy this stretch. You have just a few more moments here. Now begin to press into your forearms, lift yourself up. You can remove your props, set them off to the side. We'll use them again in a moment. Use your hands to bend your knees, lift your legs, and then maybe tick-tock your knees from side to side just to bring some energy back into your legs. We'll move into stretches for each hamstring next. So starting with your right leg, extend your right leg out at the diagonal, tuck your left leg in. Make that same little tower that you made before, but now around your right leg. Just like before, forearms to your tower or elbows to your blocks. And then begin to lean forward into your stretch. Keep your left hip fairly heavy here so it stays planted. And breathe into your right hamstrings, your back, and also the left side of your body. Final few moments here. Begin to press into your forearms to lift yourself back up. Again, you can set your props off to the side for a moment. Use your hands to lift your legs back up. And similar to before, you can sway your knees side to side. Perhaps lift your heart a little bit for a back bend, undo the forward bend. When you're ready to move on, it'll be the mirror image of what you did before, so left leg extended, right leg tucked in. Build your tower around your left leg. And once you feel set up, support yourself, move back into your forward bend stretch. Soak in this shape for a few more moments. And then begin to press into your forearms, lift yourself back up. You can set your props off to the side, perhaps your bolster at the back of your mat. One more time, lift your legs, sway them side to side. When you feel reset, you can scoot off of your blanket if you are on it, set it to the side. And we'll move into the fetal position for Shavasana. So option here is you rest on your side, preferably your left. You might bring your bolster underneath your head for a pillow. You might double up your blanket and bring it between your knees to give your hips a little more space. And then just allow yourself to relax here for a few moments. I'll guide you out when the time is right.
Begin to deepen your breath. Pull your chin to your chest, then gently press into your hands using the strength of your hands to lift you up to a nice, tall, comfortable seat. Just like at the beginning of class, you might set your hips up on a prop. Maybe bring blocks or blankets underneath your knees to give them a little extra support. Take a moment to shake out anything that needs one final stretch, and then we'll meet with our hands in prayer position in front of our heart space. Thank you so much for joining me today in practice. I hope it felt great. Namaste.